Budgey was originally added to Piggy back in 2020 as a part of the Book 1 skin contest. She later made an official story appearance in Book 2, Chapter 7. Since then, Budgey has been a topic of discussion amongst members of the Piggy community. For years now, players have theorized that she may be hiding nefarious intent, for several reasons. You see, Budgey has always been a strange character, with odd habits. First and foremost, she talks like a pirate. She uses the terminology that they use and greets your group with "Avast, ye filthy landlubbers." But this isn't the reason for the community's distrust. In Piggy's history as a game, when we met Captain Budgey on board of the Medora, the community was just being introduced to the insolence. Many believe that Mr. Stitchy was actually its true leader, and as such, believe that Budgey had connections to him specifically. This inspired videos such as these three. Across these videos, Crewcraft discusses theories relating to the insolence, but also how Budgey may be evil. However, this time it isn't due to her eccentric behavior, no. Rather, it's due to inconsistencies in the ship chapter relating to her. First and foremost, when you finally make it out of the ship's lower levels, you've already arrived at Doveport despite Budgey having told you that she needed fuel to make it there. While this could have been an error on Minitoon's part, it was used to argue that Budgey was, in fact, lying to your group. On top of this, the way that Budgey talks isn't actually all natural. We know from a note in the chapter that Budgey only spoke this way to help boost her crew's morale. Additionally, another note tells the player that she continuously tells different versions of the same story to her crew members. This story is presumably the story of how she lost her hand, another instance of her lying to people and being inconsistent. Which is very strange. She really does seem to have no reason to be doing these things. So why does she do that? Well, I believe that Budgey has a medical condition called
Pseudologia fantastica,
also known as mythomania. It is characterized by persistent, compulsive lying. Upon conducting further research, this article points out that these lies usually refer or relate to a person's history, achievements, and social relationships. On top of the inconsistencies mentioned earlier, I am led to believe this by yet another YouTube video about Captain Budgey. This video, by popular Piggy YouTuber Mr. Cheese, explores a strange noise coming from a crate within the Medora, and who or what may be residing within it. He theorizes that Captain Beatrice, who we see in Pig 64, is inside the crate, having been walked away there by Budgey. I won't go too into detail right now, so go ahead and check out his video if you want a more in-depth explanation. But again, we run into yet another problem. Why would Budgey do this? Well, I believe that she had been manipulated by the insolence. As I mentioned earlier, in Piggy's history as a game, the insolence was new to the community during this time. Some believe that the broadcast coming from radio aboard the ship was coming directly from the insolence, and I believe the same thing. For this reason and for another. You see, when the player and Willow are rescued from the crate, Mimi explains that the infected you had come across were nowhere to be found. It's a very odd detail that can't possibly be a story writing error. Interestingly enough, this isn't the only time we see or hear of an infected disappearing or appearing very suddenly. It happens throughout the second half of Book 2. They're able to teleport, presumably with the help of the insolence. We know that the insolence has an eminent presence in the story even before the infection began because of the breakout chapter. Now that I've walked you through my thought process, here's my complete theory. I believe that Budgey was manipulated by T.O. into murdering Ghosty via the radio in the ship chapter long before the infection had begun. The following years of lying and keeping the incident a secret would make her mental state deteriorate over time. She would lie about owning the Medora for years, making her develop mythomania. She would lie to her crew about the incident, and she would lie to your group about using up all of her fuel to dock in Amberdale. All because of the iniquitous one, and what he had manipulated her into doing all those years ago.